Here's the thing. I got commissioned to do 2 large commissions for my family members. They agreed to let me paint them instead of use colored pencils, which normally I use colored pencils. I think they're all aware of that. But painting or drawing those commissions in colored pencils would take me 10 years. My free time for 10 years would be devoted to those commissions, and I didn't really want to do that, so I wanted to try painting. I tried acrylics once before, and the experience I had with them was pretty good. Even though I knew nothing really about them, I really liked it, and I decided that that was what I wanted to do. Of course, for these commissions, since I needed to buy acrylics, I went to Blix. And Blix is my happy place. It is not an arts and crafts store, it is just an art store. It sells all the things artists need to create art. And no, it is not filled with rows of flowers. It does not have Christmas ornaments or decorations. It does not have aisles of those. It has only art supplies, which is so awesome, and they carry stuff that arts and crafts stores do not. Like, for instance, Hobby Lobby does not carry all 150 colors of Prismacolor colored pencils for sale in individual stock. There are certain colors that you can't buy 3 of there, but you can buy any amount of any color or any combination of colors from Blix, because they have all 150 Prismacolor colored pencils available for individual sale. Individual stock, open stock, I guess. I think that's what it's called. So I'm going to talk about what I got. 2 cotton panels, a palette knife, a black and a white bottle of paint, gesso, airbrush medium, satin varnish, a couple colored pencils, a few brushes, a gesso brush, a set of acrylics, a table easel, and a palette for mixing paints on, acrylic paper. I had to go a second time, but for a lot less things, because I knew I needed a couple more brushes and some more paint. So by that time, I was already halfway through my bottle of white, which I had 4 ounces in there. It seemed like a lot when I was buying it, but no. So I bought an 8-ounce bottle of white. I bought neutral gray, and then of course the couple of brushes, and that was $37.79. So in total, I spent about $239.72. About. Let's just go with, it was about $240 altogether, which is a lot of money. But I'm thankful to my family members for commissioning me, because I would not have been able to do acrylics for a while if they hadn't commissioned me. So this has been an exciting experience. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the quality of the items. So let's start with the cotton panels. I haven't tried them yet because I bought them for the official commissions and I've been practicing. Today is my last planned day of practice, and I think I'm ready to move on. The palette knife does its job. It's good. The gesso, haven't tried it. I don't know how to measure what good gesso is. Airbrush medium, that stuff is awesome. It replaces water when you're mixing acrylics. Now when you do acrylics, you can't do a wash. You can't just do a wash on your canvas with water and a little bit of acrylics. If you do that, you risk cracking in your painting later on. So use airbrush medium. It's nice and thin and it preserves your painting. The paint's okay. It was one of those options that was like in the middle. There's golden and Liquitex all the way at the top of paint. Those are the top brands of acrylic paint. And then there's like Blix which is the one I bought. I bought the Blick Studio Paint. And then there's student grade paint all the way at the bottom, which you should never buy unless you're buying it for kids. Blick Studio Paint, it's okay. The one thing I wish is that it would have more pigment load. So if I put white on top of a darker color, it wouldn't be so transparent. But other than that, it's pretty good. You're paying a lot less than Golden or Liquitex, and you're still getting good quality, especially if you're a beginner and you're just learning and you don't want to spend a lot of money to try something that you've never done before. Blick Studio Paint is a great option, honestly, and because I didn't have limitless money on my hands, I wasn't gonna buy Liquitex or Golden because they're just so expensive. I just can't afford that right now. But Blick Studio was a great option. And I bought a couple Prismacolor colored pencils, which are awesome as always. They are some of the best. The brushes, depending on the brush, they were all pretty good. I wish that the fan brush I had gotten was thicker, had more bristles, but it's a little bit different than I was expecting with the fan brush. It does more like speckles for paint, that kind of a texture rather than the leafy texture I was expecting. The gesso brush, I haven't tried it for gesso yet because I've been using acrylic paper, and because these weren't official paintings, I wasn't planning on preparing it with gesso. So I have not tested it for gesso, but I tried using it for painting and I don't recommend it. Okay, those hairs come out, so don't use gesso brushes for painting unless you know that the hairs don't come out. But the hairs wanted to come out on that one, and I tried it on one of the paintings I did, and I said, okay, that's enough. No more gesso brush for painting. The table easel was awesome. It's only 10 bucks, and it is awesome. Well, I guess actually, that brand can be up to $26, but I got it for $10, and for the quality, the price is amazing. It is made of aluminum. It grips well onto the table, and it folds up when you're done with it, and it stores well. It's awesome. For 10 bucks, I really got my dollar's worth out of that, you know? My $10 worth, you know, whatever. It was worth every penny, and it was really good. And the palette. Okay, so this one's a little bit disappointing because it wasn't exactly what I was expecting it to do. When I saw it on the Blick's website, I was expecting it to be awesome because it would help preserve my paints, but the way it works makes it a bit more difficult to mix the paints and keep them, the ones that I want to be separate, away from the other ones. So I haven't been using it as it was made to be used. I've been using the bottom of it and the lid, since it's supposed to close together to keep your paints preserved. I've been using paints on both sides because it is not big enough. I've realized that I would actually prefer a larger palette rather than one that preserves my paints, because it's just more trouble that I have to go through if I have to deal with a tiny little palette. So a bigger one, I can see myself in the future buying a larger one. And the acrylic paper, it's decent. It tends to bubble up, but it's one of those things that's better for practicing with acrylics than it is for actually making a painting with acrylics. But that's just like preference. It's decent, it does the job, and it was a decent price. I didn't have to buy a bunch of panels to do my practice paintings. I just had these acrylic papers, which were awesome. And the process of what I painted. So obviously, I think like everybody else, When I think of learning to paint, the first thing I think of is Bob Ross. And I did one of his tutorials. I'm pretty happy with the outcome. I learned a lot about painting techniques, and I do really like it, but it doesn't feel like my painting. The second one was one I didn't finish, so we're not going to really talk about that. It was kind of a mess from the start, and it's decent-ish, but I don't think I really want to finish it. The third painting is one that I used. It's not a real photo, based off of a real photo, except it's a photo of this sky. The sun setting, the moon's out, and you can see the silhouette of some trees, some grass, and a girl doing a jump, some kind of split jump. There's like, I don't remember the names to these jumps, but I took the reference from Anna McNulty's Instagram, but she has that photo on her Instagram, and I used it as the reference for the girl that was jumping. I'm pretty happy with this one because it turned out well. I like the black contrasted with the pink and purple. This third one. Okay, this is my favorite, and it really feels like my painting. It really feels like something I would do, which is what was lacking with all the other paintings. The one that I did from the Bob Ross tutorial didn't feel like mine because it was something Bob Ross would paint. The one with the girl jumping was okay, but it didn't really feel like something I would do. It wasn't a lot of work either, so it didn't really feel like a great accomplishment. But this one, it did only take me 2 days to paint, but I'm very proud of it. It marks a great, I think, point in my journey with acrylics. And it's the reference was a photo I took from a cafe here in the capital city of my state, and this cafe is so adorable. I think everybody in the capital city knows it. It's adorable. It's quite famous for its floor made of pennies, and I got this drink. It's a chai latte, and it has a marshmallow at the top, and it's frothy and foamy, and then it has that marshmallow, and this cafe is just the best. Like, if you want to go to a cafe, this is better than Starbucks, okay? Like, Starbucks is fun, but all their cups are made to be thrown away. This place has the real glass mugs, the white ones that you can drink from, and it's just like, it really adds to the experience. I think it's kind of expensive, but it is worth it for the experience. So this is the one I really want to get into the process for because it was quite interesting. It only took me, I'm guessing probably like 5 hours to do, but it was really fun. I think the thing about painting is that it's faster. That's what's nice about it. As far as painting time, it is faster. Cleanup is slower. It takes more time to clean up painting than digital art. Digital art's like, okay, put away the iPad, the stylus you used, and your glove. That's it. But with painting, there's the brushes and the gesso, the airbrush medium, and the varnish, and the palette, and the cup of water you used, and the towel you wiped your brushes on, and all the paints you used, and the easel, not to mention, unless you keep it in the same place. So there's a lot of stuff to clean up. Setup is exactly the same. It takes not as much time because you don't actually have to wash the brushes, but it does take some time. But this painting, this one I did completely without a sketch, as I did all the others, which is totally new to me. You know, I always do a sketch, digital or traditional. This is not, it didn't feel normal. It was kind of a scary new adventure because what do I do without a sketch? But I did all these without a sketch, and the 3 that I completed, out of the 4 that I did, the 3 that I completed, I'm quite proud of. And that is to say that you don't always need a sketch. Like, that's feels like a revolutionary idea, but you don't always need a sketch. This one I just painted straight on the canvas, and I'm quite proud of it. So yeah, that was my story about how I spent way too much money on at the art store and how I created this painting. Alright, so one last thing before you click off of this video. Be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Go follow my Instagram to see when I finish a drawing. Hang out with me in my stories. Talk with me in my DMs. You can do all that fun stuff. We have fun on my stories. We host polls and ask questions, and we like to hear your opinion. Be sure to suggest ideas for videos in the comments below. I only have 2 other videos on this channel and I need more stuff. Be sure to tell me if you think any of my content is boring, what I could do better, and what you like, so that I know how to create videos that you enjoy watching. Yeah, be sure to go to my Etsy shop. Check that out. I've got lots of fun stuff, some drawings that I've already created that are still available for sale. And if you want a piece for your home, you can buy them. And these paintings that I created are for sale. So they'll be up on my store. Link is in the description. Bye.